Welcome to this explanation video. The purpose of this video is to assist drillers and office staff in completing an online driller's well completion report. On the first page there's a basic description of when the form is used, contact details of the drilling inspector if you have any questions or issues when completing the form, and information about navigation of the form, saving incomplete forms to return to at a later date, and uploading supporting documents. I'll now click on the blue complete form button at the bottom. The instructions tab explains some of the connectivity requirements and the information you need to get started. I'll now click on the green continue button. The verify details tab requires the details of the licensed driller. Put in the well driller's license number and then the well driller's full name as it appears on the license, and click verify license details. This is the section of the form if the contact details of the licensed well driller needs updating, and also the section of the form if there was a driller that was on the levers drilling under supervision, and you fill in that person's details there. For the example, I'm going to have no. Then put in the well permit number. If you're having trouble in this section, sometimes the well permit holder's name has to be as it appears on the well permit. An option here is to click on the link here. This takes you to the permit register, and click on permits, permit number, put in the permit number, search now, and then you can copy and paste the full name into this section here, and then retrieve permit details. This will show the permit details, and then you can go continue. This is the well summary tab. Work carried out. There's drop down options, new well, replacement well. This is where a new well is drilled and an existing well is decommissioned. Alter the construction of an existing well and decommissioning of an existing well. Date commenced and date work completed. The well purpose, choose one of these options. GPS coordinates of the well, you can fill these out. Alternatively, if the driller has forgotten to collect the GPS coordinates, this mapping function may assist. You move the little cross to wherever the well was drilled. You can zoom in and maybe use the satellite feature to assist. And you can copy the easting and northing and the zone across into the form. Was the well successful? If you've drilled a dry hole, you click no, and a decommission tab will come across the top here. So if you drill multiple unsuccessful dry holes, you still need to complete a report for each one, and you put in a different letter for each one you've done for each different report. If you've drilled a number of dusters and then you get a successful well, then you click yes here, and you'll notice that the decommission tab doesn't appear. This is also if you're drilling geotechnical hole, for example. borehole where you've drilled down to 20 meters and you're decommissioning because it's a new well, but we'll put that as unsuccessful and the decommission tab is there. But this one we'll use yes, was successful, and continue. And the next tab is the drilling tab. So for this example monitoring well, we'll go from 0 to 19.4, 152 diameter. You get to choose the drilling technique you've used. For this one I'll do auger. Obviously if you're putting in surface control casing for a different type of well, this is where you can add a row as required and it continues on. But for this case we'll just have the single line water cut. Just fill out all the information that you can. And then press continue. If there's multiple water cuts, obviously if you're going through fractured rock and you have multiple different zones, you can add each water cut there. And continue. The casing tab is for the blank section of the construction, and the following tab, production zone, captures the slotted casing, screen or open hole section. So for this well, this monitoring well, I'll select the production casing. The construction material is PVC. Type U. Class 18. And that would be from 0 to 16.4. Threaded. Probably held straight in the hole for centralizing a shallow hole. Sealing, so from 0 to 14.4. Sealing material is grout. Number of kilos 220. Mixed on site. So that's with bentonite or just neat Portland GP. With the water placement, tremie, okay, so then you add another sealing for the bentonite plug, and that would be from 14.4 to 15.4. Bentonite pellets, placement method, gravity, and if this was a say class 3 hole for example, and this first information put in was a surface casing, then you could just add another casing and then you add the casing, add the details, and also add the way it was sealed. But for this one I'll click continue. The production zone tab has 4 options available in the drop down list: open hole, slotted casing inline, slotted casing telescopic, screen inline, and screen telescopic. The different information for each one selected. So if you chose open hole for example, you would see this is the information required to be filled out. But for the example of the monitoring well, we're going to use slotted casing inline. That would be from 16.4, which is the bottom of your blank casing, to 19.4. aperture, PVC, class 18, industrially manufactured, and just continue to fill out whatever you used. And at the bottom you might have, okay, then press continue. And for the development tab, was any development performed on the well? Yes. After you've done the developing, what was the final standing water level? So there's options here for the method of development. For this one it was airlifting for 30 minutes. If there's different options you used, you can add items and choose different methods. But for this one, it was just airlifting, so I'll leave it as 1. And was a pump test performed? On this one, it wasn't. But if you were to, there's information that you can add, and also there's an option there to upload documents. And then continue. And for the formation log tab, just fill it in. So from 0 to 2, you choose one of the options here, and then describe, and then add a row. It will say from 2 to 3, add a row, So once you've completed the formation log, there's an option here. If the well was geophysically logged, obviously this one wouldn't have been, but there's the options. There's also if the well casing was perforated at all, there's options there as well. So for this one, no. There's also an option here if you wanted to add attachments or any other information that you think that might be beneficial to a driller down the track or for the department. Then press continue. And for the declaration tab, you need to click this button to show everything that's true and correct. Put in the name of the person who is completing the form and their role. And I've just gone back and I've unclicked something which is required just to show you what happens. So I'll submit this and it comes up with a issue that needs to be resolved. Verify details, a button in this group is required. So I'll go back to the tab of verify details, and it shows here a button in this group is required. Was the work carried out by another driller under your supervision? No. And then I can go continue and back to the declaration tab and submit. And the submission is complete. It gives you a reference number, and you can download the form and receipt, or you can email a copy. So you can email the form to yourself, and then you can also email it to the client and to the business or drilling company you work for. If you have any other questions, you can contact the department. Thanks.